see them almost everywhere, or maybe not at all of the intersections, but enough to see that there are many people who are living outside in our community. How many are doing so by choice? How many have mental health issues that have led to their predicament? How big is the problem, and what is being done to help solve that problem? My guest this morning can shed light on all of those questions. Marilyn Brown is the president and CEO of the Houston Coalition for the Homeless. Dr. Quindola Crowley is the chief of social work and veterans care and transitional service at the DeBakey VA Medical Center. Good morning.
Good morning.
Marilyn, how big is the homeless problem right now? I mean, that's a big question, I know, but
that's quite all right.
Sum it up?
In our area, and I define our area by 3 counties, Montgomery County, Harris County, and Fort Bend County. So on a given night, when we do our snapshot picture, we have about 4,000 people. 1,500 of those are living unsheltered. The others are taking advantage and living sheltered.
Is that better than it was last year and the year before, or is it about the same?
Well, it's better from 2011 when we started working differently. But last year is the first year in that 7-year trend that we did see a slight uptick that we can tie almost directly to Hurricane Harvey. We had an increase in the number of people, both sheltered and unsheltered. And when we interviewed those unsheltered, 18% of them said their trigger into homelessness was losing their home or losing their car or whatever happened to them because of Hurricane Harvey.
So many people are out on the street. You look at people who are homeless and you wonder, what is their scenario? What got them here? And it just runs the gamut, I'm sure. Dr. Crowley, how many of the homeless do we know of are veterans, and what kinds of programs are in place at the VA to help those vets who may be homeless?
Well, we've had, as Marilyn stated, a significant decrease over the past 7 years, and then last year there was an increase in the point-in-time count, and we had an increase in the veteran population, so about 400 showed up. Of those, we worked with a number of those to start housing. Veterans do deal with a number of issues. Chronically mentally ill, we deal with that quite a bit. A number of our veterans that are on the street have significant mental health issues that have not been addressed. And so when we house them, the case management that we do really does a good wraparound service that addresses all of their health issues as well as their mental health issues.
What do you think is the bigger challenge? Getting the word out to veterans who need the help, or getting veterans who need the help to actually accept the help?
A little bit of both, because veterans they're very prideful. Some of them don't want the help. Some of them don't want to acknowledge that that they have some of the issues and concerns that they're dealing with, and they just haven't been able to manage some of the mental health issues, or they're prideful in that maybe they've lost their job and now it's taken them to this place, and then they're not aware of all the services that are available to them. And
I know that the coalition has come together because once upon a time there was no such thing as a coalition. There were a lot of different organizations. How does the coalition work?
Cambrell, you're exactly right. Beginning in 2012, we took agencies that had worked independently, probably over 100, that felt like they had to do everything from A to Z all by themselves. And we began to build this collaborative that we named The Way Home. And so the coalition leads that effort to pull all the agencies together so that those that are best at housing, building housing, they do that. And we bring in case management. Our partnership with the VA is a perfect example to have the access, be able to offer those experiencing homelessness that are veterans the access to the excellent case management, medical help that the VA brings to the table.
So Dr. Crowley was talking about how sometimes people may not know about the services that are available. I know that there are outreach programs within the coalition to help get that word out to people who need it?
Yes. Some of our partners their expertise is outreach teams, including the Houston Police Department that has the homeless outreach team that we hear about, but Search, Star of Hope, Avenue 360, there are a lot of our individual agencies that one of the roles they play are people out every day going to where we know encampments are, going to where we know panhandlers are to determine if they're indeed homeless, and just interacting, because you never know which day someone will say yes. So we have to keep asking the question, and when that person says yes, our team can get them in, get them assessed for housing, and start moving the process forward.
One of the homeless areas that's received a lot of attention on the news recently was this area right underneath 59, where this group had really camped out there. It seemed like quite some time. Well, the city moved to permanently shut that area down, closed it off a few weeks ago, but many of the displaced from there have found areas not far away from that same site. So the question then becomes, how do you find the people who most need the help and try to make sure that they're able to receive what you have to offer?
We actually have outreach as well, and we go out, we look for the veterans, we go searching for them. We go to the places that we know that they are, and we provide a significant amount of outreach for our veterans. We're also in the, we have a group called the Veterans Justice Outreach. So we address those veterans that are incarcerated. We help prepare them for their, for lack of a better term, discharge, and assist them with reentry into the community with jobs and housing.
No matter what veterans are going through, is there something about a veteran that they can kind of relate to each other?
Absolutely. One of the, and we use peer supports to assist with that. So we have peers that are really engaged with our veterans, that understand where they're coming from. Some have been homeless, some have dealt with substance abuse, some have PTSD. So the peer supports are this tremendous asset to our case managers and our teams that assist the veterans.
Marilyn, what would you want people to most know about how they should deal with the homeless problem? I know the mayor talked about, you know, not spare change,
right,
but meaningful change going forward. When we see people standing out there, a lot of the people who are homeless aren't necessarily the ones who are standing under the bridges.
You're exactly right. There's really two triggers into homelessness, and one that is more visible is those experiencing mental or physical illness. But we do have a great number of people who enter homelessness because of an economic reason. So we don't see them as often. The best way the individual citizen can help is to really support the agencies that are already doing the work, that are part of the way home, with volunteer time, with in-kind giving. Somebody called my office the other day and wanted to give blankets. Well, let's give them to the outreach teams that can take them out. And certainly everybody needs donations at this time of year. But particularly those on the street, it really takes a trained person to engage with someone who you don't know what their mental illness status is.
That's right, because you don't know what they're coming, what kind of imagination they may have, or anyway, it is a great program that you have to offer, helping those people who need that kind of help, and especially, I shouldn't say especially for veterans, but that's just my heart. Veterans really need to be able to have a place. So thank you for what you're doing. We're going to make sure we put the information on our website so that if anybody wants to be able to donate to the coalition, they can know, and if they can provide help to veterans, that's one way we can help as well.
Thank you.
Thank you both for coming in. We appreciate it. Happy holidays to both of you going forward here. Just ahead, we've got a final thought and a look ahead to next week, including important warnings from fire officials about the dangers of the holidays that you may not be paying attention to, but should. That's next when Houston Newsmakers continues.